Hello everyone. And thank you for your interest in my, by now second, update video. It's about a Canon L lens again. This time the good old EF. 5.6 100-300mm. I already introduced you to this lens. But on the Sony A7III, a full-frame camera with 24 megapixels. Feel free to check out this video as well. Today, the 100-300mm had to show how it does on a 50 megapixel camera. For this, I screwed it one or the other time. During my Norway trip to Varanger National Park. On the Canon EOS 5 DSR. Have fun watching. You are welcome to leave a like. And also visit me on my homepage. Aperture 1.4. There you can learn everything about analog and digital photography. From the point of view of a photographing collector. You can also find more pictures from me on Instagram. At aperture 1.4. But now let's go. First, let me show you the performance of the lens at 100mm focal length. You can see the unprocessed raw image from the Canon EOS 5 DSR. This picture was taken with f8. I use an iMac 5K from 2017 as a monitor and computer for viewing and editing. It sometimes reaches its performance limit when it comes to smooth editing of such a file, especially when other programs are open. But this is only on the sidelines. I show you the picture in 100% and 200% view. The sharpness performance is very good. The image looks crisp, sharp and brilliant in the 100% view. And even at even higher magnification at 200%, there is nothing to complain about the optical quality at a focal length of 100mm, in my opinion. Here's another image taken at 100mm, this time at f11. Overall, the optical quality at 100mm is excellent in the f8 and f11 aperture range, even on the Canon EOS 5 DSR. For landscape photography, these aperture values are perfectly acceptable. I would no longer use this lens for fast-moving subjects or sports photography, also because of the relatively slow autofocus. The lens still uses the oldest Canon type of motor, the so-called AFD drive. It also has a long focusing distance from close-up to infinity, certainly an advantage for manual focusing, but not for AF operation. Again, my advice: watch my first video about this lens. There you can learn more about the mechanical quality and the optical performance on a 24 megapixel camera. Here is an example image taken at focal length 135mm and aperture 11. Even at 135mm focal length, the lens delivers very good optical quality. Even with this focal length, I recommend using the aperture range from 8 to 11. I focused on the lighthouse. This is located at the end of the world, in northern Norway, near the King Oscar II Chapel on the Barents Sea. Here runs within sight of the Russian border. Unfortunately, there is no lens profile available for this old gem to correct aberrations, so corrections have to be made manually during image processing. The lens can therefore be used with very good to good results in the focal length range from 100 to 135mm, especially slightly stopped down. But how does it look in the stronger telephoto range? First, I'll show you a picture taken with 215mm focal length, at f9. In my opinion, the previous quality cannot quite be maintained from 200mm focal length. The images look flatter and no longer as crisp. But always keep in mind, I'm showing you unprocessed raw images here. With the necessary post-processing, of course, the image can still be improved, so that it delivers a good result. Of course, with each image the question arises, how large should it be enlarged? Should poster prints be made? Will the images only be published on the internet? Anyone who takes pictures with a 50 megapixel camera probably wants to achieve the best possible quality, otherwise this camera would of course be completely oversized in terms of resolution. From there, I would not use the range of 200mm for best possible quality with this camera. This is even more true for the focal length range of about 215 to 300mm, as you can see in the following examples. Huge RAW files are created here that cannot be fed with the corresponding lens resolution. This is different with a 24 megapixel camera, or even an analog Canon EOS model. At 300mm the weaknesses of the lens are clearly visible. As a telephoto zoom, I would unfortunately not recommend this lens for the Canon EOS 5 DSR. Canon itself published a recommendation on its website for selecting lenses that do justice to the camera's resolving power with its 50 megapixels. In the telephoto zoom range, which covers at least 300mm, only these three lenses are mentioned. Canon EF 4 to 5.6, 70 to 300mm, L, IS. Canon EF 4.5 to 5.6, 100 to 400mm, L, IS. Canon EF 4, 200 to 400mm, L, IS, with 1.4 times extender. Here I have chosen a technically interesting photo. It was taken at 205mm with open aperture, from about 5 to 7 meters away. Obviously, the zoom seems to give better results at close range. Nevertheless, I still maintain that I would choose a telephoto zoom other than standard telephoto zoom on a 50 megapixel camera. As most of you know, at the end of the video, I show you processed images that I took with this featured lens. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy our shared hobby. Until the next video, stay healthy and bye.